their priests are kind of spreading incense, as the archbishop isn't going to watch the games. He just came here to bless the games and the blood that is about to be spilt.
What a good man.
Is that what Phineas says?
That's Phineas. What a good man.
There's one guy beside you. You're in the rowdy drunken section. Hashi, the five-faced god! He lifts up his kind of like kilt and waves his dick around, and then there's a bunch of laughter in the stands where Phineas and Ashoka are. You are in the rabble sections, jam-packed, being jostled, beer spilt on
By
Ashoka's
next
sleeve.
season, we're up front.
I kind of like it up here. You know? See how the other half lives?
Yes,
Ashoka doesn't like it up here. He likes it. Phineas doesn't like it up here.
We know how they live. In squalor. You can smell it.
Lady Savette Havel goes to reach the thing again, and the commissar grabs it first. Enough of her. There's some laughter from the crowd. She sits down with a pout. Dmitri Vaska, the Commissar of Games. Yes, thank you, Archbishop. We are indeed gathered here to spill blood. The blood of those who would turn against our Imperium. The blood of those who do not recognize their masters. The blood of those who do honor to the five-faced god, and to all of you for dying here today. The crowd seems to like the sound of blood and people dying here for their spectacle.
Perfect.
Of course, we are also here to honor the sponsor of these games. None other than the four great men that preside over us all. Magistrate Veru of the Imperial City. There's some boos at him. He just sort of like gives a little look like they're talking amongst themselves. He's sort of whatever. Yeah.
Did you hear that? No, those aren't boos. Those are yays, but they go bay.
Commander Taman Valens, who has returned from the field of conquest to the north, the slayer of barbarians, the victor of such and such place and place. You know, he says something about.
I was like, this guy. You know what? If he was actually saying such and such a place and place, you know, get a little like big baller rank, rank up.
No. He goes through this long line of victories the commander has, and the commander actually raises his hand, accepting the praise, and there are people that look like they're going to enjoy watching these scabby, hairy barbarians die in the arena today. And of course, our presiding count, who has offered up quite a lot of his own personal fortune to make sure that you have a wonderful opening ceremony to the season of games. There's a warlord-looking guy. His name is Count Czargon, you think? And then a man who needs no introduction. A slayer of infidels. A conqueror. The man who tamed this duchy, brought law and order here. The true sponsor of the games, whose family built this very arena. Duke Drago Corda. There are some people that are cheering him. The Duke basically just raises a hand. He doesn't even stand up to address the crowd. He's got a very large, ostentatious seat. He's sitting upon it. He's dressed in this reddish full plate, no helmet. He has a simple diadem of power that is across his brow. And he's a brooding sort. His face has shadows that hide his eyes as he just glowers down upon everything. People are cheering in that, yeah, okay, fine. He's the guy who built us the arena. Okay. Or his family did.
And Phineas has managed a golf clap.
Okay.
I'm sure you could hear me from here.
If we give the
Oh, is
Duke-
that sick coming down? Are you sick? Getting sick up there?
We right. Somebody behind you, all kind of puking, and I had too much to drink this morning. I just made some room for this afternoon. This drunk guy. Drunk guy is now
You're
talking.
enjoying yourself, Phineas.
Phineas, did you bring your bird?
No.
Is Nix here?
Excuse me. Yeah, Nix is here.
Okay, Nix is hiding in his backpack. You've got the backpack kind of sitting beside you. He's poking his head out every once in a while, but he's the last time you brought him to the games, he basically had to go flying into a burning ship and explode it, and then try to get out of here. He's not looking forward to whatever you have planned, and is trying to hide in his backpack.
Well, you know what? Tough shit, bird. You're not here for your comfort.
You do see that the leaders of some of the houses have really nice areas down below, like with really good views of what's going on. You can see
we should get invited with them.
There's two Sabros of the Blackheart.
Did I put two of them down?
There's a guy. He's in the south and the north.
Okay. The Ludi Masters seem to be all in the north. At least you're in the right area. You can see this beautiful woman surrounded by fawning knights. You see this guy in a large, ostentatious hat sitting with a bunch of pirate-looking mofos.
Yep.
You could see Vestra Iral is actually chatting with this green woman in a wonderful-looking dress. She is surrounded by goblins. The goblins have better seats than you. All the goblins have top hats and monocles and like little suits on. Chebagast.
Okay. Phineas finds that hilarious. They think the people.
Chebagast is actually sitting amongst or very close to what look like a bunch of people that are waving flags that you recognize. There's at least 40 of them in the stands here that are part of the cult or the fanatics of man.
Cool.
And he's with them? Like they're in his box?
No, they're not in his box. He's sitting really close to them, and he's actually chatting with one of them. But Chebagast is sitting very close to where the fan of man box is. You do see that there are some monks, and the monks there's a whole bunch of like dark-looking monks sitting to one side of him, and some light-looking monks sitting to the other side, and there's this really old man sitting in the middle. You can see that
gray robes.
There are a bunch of knights. You recognize Ashoka, the guy who just wandered into your... was it Phineas that met him?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. You recognize the guy with the red hair who just wandered into your ludus, had a smoke, and then left. He's talking with Lord Nori Nothram and is sitting with the knights at this point in time.
That is so hilarious. It's like we got a spectrum going on here. It's like this spectrum of ridiculously. It's like, what
At the far end, Magnus will notice that there are a bunch of masked people, some of which he saw in the old market, high upon the hill. They've taken over part of the... they've got a box of their own, basically, at the games.
Cool.
Or a section of their own. Meanwhile, in the veins of the Civic Arena of Vaddapol, of Vaddapol, you've got Sir Prentice Pennywise, who does have his guards. Let me see if I can find the guards. They're the Duke's men that are constantly following. They're the two Duke's men that are constantly following. And I guess Qued will be here somewhere too. He's hiding somewhere. Maybe that's why you can't find him.
It's like, where's Waldo? It's where's Qued?
Qued? What is he up to? Oh, there's two of them. Oh well. He'll be speaking to Chebagast. The opening games begin. The matinee of the games are a bunch of blood and slaughter. Maeve is here, Magnus, and you actually have a chance to speak to her before you before your fight. You're not the opening fight, and you're definitely not the closing fight.
Right.
All right.
So here's Maeve. You guys are basically waiting in the veins, right about here. The soldiers have gone ahead and secured Prentice Pennywise closer to the front.
This is the one that sent me the axe, not Sonia, right?
Not Sonia, but this is the one that
Wrong one.
this is the one that did send you the axe. And let me grab Sonia's miniature because she might be around as well.
So what will you be using in your opening fight on the opening day? Your flaming sword or the axe you were gifted?
The axe does.
Those loaded questions. Oh, they're so heavy and loaded. Oh my
Marty,
god.
Does the axe give me a +1 cold or plus D6?
The axe isn't a frost weapon.
It's not a frost. It's a +1.
+1 to hit damage.
+1 to hit, +1 to hit and damage, and +1 to confirm critical hits. On top of that.
I guess confirmed critical hit might have been seen as cold crushing hammer something.
Cold. That's cold, baby.
Okay.
Because basically, if you don't, you're basically saying to her, "Hey, thanks for the axe. It's my second best weapon."
Mark?
No, I know.
You're doing good work even from the peanut gallery.
I knew this. I knew this was gonna come up because I've got a friend of man, and a friend of Magnus.
Fan of Man might not be here.
Yeah, Magnus will step off.
You're also not allowed to use ranged magic during your fight.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so you do see that she's approaching Magnus. There are other people that are coming in. You guys are just waiting along the sides. You've never fought here, so you're not too sure where to go. There are periodic guards, and it's quite busy back here. There are a lot of guards that are at each interval to each room, including guards that are in the final chamber. These guards do not have guns, so you could probably overwhelm them, but then what? It's kind of like the...
we're living in a tunnel.
Right. You do see that Maeve, the Marooned Maiden, and her healer, as well as Sonia, are entering the veins of the Civic Arena.
Magnus is gonna step out.
Okay.
And
Don't get in her way.
yeah. he raises a hand like a greeting.
She stops for a moment.
I must thank you. You must be Maeve, yeah? I am Magnus.
She does not look happy, but she didn't look happy when she marched in. She just looks really grim. You're Magnus?
Yeah.
I am Maeve, she says, and she offers you kind of like a warrior shake.
Yeah.
Okay? She's as strong as you, maybe stronger.
Yeah.
She might have items also that like give her strength, but she is one strong woman. She grasps your hand, and it is a solid shake. This is not a day for celebration. You know all those barbarians out there? It is upon my spear and sword that their lives will end. This affront, this insult that is handed to me from the would-be rulers of this town. It is a message, she says to you in Corsican. Be careful. Do you speak the language of your people?
I hope I do. Because that would be embarrassing.
So I've got Imperial Common and Stygian Common. You do not speak Corsican, which is fine. Like Marty's half Finnish. He does not speak Finn. He does not speak Finnish. So
Just nod.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
she doesn't seem to. She gets that there's something off here. She doesn't.
But what
She
you
doesn't.
said before.
Yeah.
But what you said before is, we do what we can while we are here. Who knows what brings tomorrow?
If you excuse me, I have some prayers to issue to the gods before I send a dozen men to their deaths.
All right, he steps out of the way. Good luck with that.
Yep. She strides past you.
I'm like with Sonya. As soon as she walks in, I'm like, "Hey,
Yep.
Sonya,
Yeah,
how you doing?"
Sonya comes right up to you. She's not happy. Please forgive her.
Yeah, I know. I understand. It sucks, but we play the hand we're dealt for now. Yeah.
She grabs you by the front of your coat and pulls you forward a little bit. Stay alive is what she says, and then plants like a big smacker on Magnus.
Does that improve the morale of Magnus's men?
No.
It improves Magnus's morale.
Improves Magnus's morale. Sonya, you can hear Maeve, who basically. Sonya has to run off, but she kind of like there's a quick motion to her step. Chella just stops for a moment and smiles. I will be back here if any of you have your guts hanging out and need a little bit of help, by Palor.
Thank you.
Are you fighting more than once today?
No, we're doing one fight.
Then count yourself lucky, she says.
Yeah.
There are others that come into the veins as well. Some of them are kind of psycho-looking. Mark Nitzer has the job of killing, 4 barbarian soldiers. He's wandering in. You can see you basically, some guards let you in, but they close the doors, and you're forced to wait while you know that Maeve is making her prayers before the old gods. The shrine that is there is basically set up to receive has holy symbols of many of the old gods. So it's something that you might also do as well. This crazy looking monk in dark robes with head to toe tattoos. There's something underneath his shirt where these little tiny bony hands and like bony creatures are trying to push their way through the skin. What else can you describe about Nitzer, Mark, given that he was a mercenary that you created?
Yeah, he's very wiry, but like super fit. He's got an intense look on his face. Well, zoom in on him. He's clearly he's devoted to something.
He has a brain tattooed on his scalp.
Oh, zoom in some more. Yeah, he looks at the 4 of you. Tell me, are you all prepared to sacrifice and be sacrificed at the altar of the games?
He's okay. It's alright, guys. He's joking. How you doing? Hey, my name is Magnus.
I never joke.
Ah, that sucks. I'm still Magnus, though.
I am planning on making 4 sacrifices to Nerul.
Alright, well, good luck with that painting. We're not fighting you, though, so maybe some other day, alright?
Who are you? He's looking at the door like, I got nowhere to go. So
Yep.
You're stuck with the weird guy on the bus.
No.
Let me tell you about this thing. No, I don't want to hear about the thing.
All right,
Let me tell you about this thing.
Nitzer sees this like creature with wings who looks like a statue. He just kind of like looking at the ground, not too happy. There's this big dumb guy. It's obvious he's dumb. And then there's this like a a decent-sized warrior, not compared to Magnus, but just sort of a wiry warrior in leathers, I guess.
Do you have preferred tools for your sacrifices?
There we go. I had to put him away. Yeah. All right. I told you I'm Magnus. These are my gladiators. Drain, Bull, and Dral. Yeah. We'll fight
They
together.
are yours.
Yeah.
You are a master of a ludus?
Of course I am. You don't know Magnus.
I apologize.
It's not
He
the problem.
He bows to you. I am
I give you a
Cray.
Hey, pleasure to meet you. And who are you?
Nitsa Cray.
I mean, are you do you fight? Who do you fight for? Why are you fighting?
Oh, I fight for the greater glory of Nerul. He's got when he says Nerul, there's a look of ecstasy in his face.
Okay, yeah, sounds like a nice guy. Yeah. Magnus. Let's see if Magnus has. I'm pretty sure he does not.
Yeah,
You can make an in check.
In check. Let's in check the shit out of this. 1d20. Yeah. Oh, let me check my int.
Yeah, you're not sure what he's talking about, but he looks
10,
pretty
10,
creepy.
10. Yeah, we're good. All right. Well, I hope you make him happy because you look like you're going to do a good job.
At the very least, he will get one.
Yeah, you at least fighting once today. That's good. Yeah, we have one fight as well.
Well, yes, but I have 4 opponents. And worst case scenario is I die, and I will be the sacrifice.
Nah, you look like a winner.
Well,
I
so
have faith
far,
in you.
thank you. If in the future you require my expertise, I am available.
Hey, where can I find you? Just after we're done here, I'm going to speak with my colleagues and start planning our future fights.
You're muted, Mark.
I was like, what happened to him?
I got. He just stops talking. He's staring at you.
Are we going to have a problem here?
If you're looking for me, you can find me at the Monastery of Dissolution.
The Monastery of Disillusion. Okay, got you. Yeah, well, you look like a monk, so...
Locals call it the Black House.
The Black House. I like it. Yeah, I will come visit you for sure, yeah.
Watch my match if you have any doubts about my abilities. I've killed 12 men already. In a single match.
Oh, 12 in one match? Were they tied up? No, it's good for you. You're a great warrior. You don't even have a weapon on you. Fantastic.
Of course I have a weapon. He pulls out a 3-section staff made out of femur bones.
Glorious! Look at that! Hey, dog, come on, look at it. It's fantastic. You wrap around some guy's face and bam!
Charles just looks at it and then looks away as he is commanded.
Okay. Magnus notices that. It's like,
Has this one been kicked in the head? He's pointing at Bull.
He's wiping something from his nose.
I think a bull kicked him a few times. It's his own pet, so it happens, I'm sure.
I've never seen someone pick their nose, not know where to put it, so put it back. It's unique.
He's fantastic too. Look at him. He's glorious. He can.
Yeah, you kick your ass, says Drain.
Is that so?
Yeah?
Well,
Max put his head to his head. We'll talk about our own asses later. Let's focus on the fights ahead, alright?
Perhaps we can arrange a match later this season.
Magnus elbows Drain like, fuck. Magnus with his gladiators he's more buddy.
Yep.
He's more buddy with his gladiators.
Oh, we've established that. Drain he doesn't mind Magnus. There are some other scary-looking people that come in. One guy comes in, he's in a white robe that looks like his hair is on fire, and then there's this big, lumbering, slow-moving bullywug. The guy whose hair is on fire also has tattoos that are kind of curling up the backside of his head that also look like they're on fire. And there are other tattoos along strategically along his body that look like they're on fire as well. He looks at all of you.
Where's asbestos underpants?
Brog looks at you.
Alright, sorry, who's looking?
Frogman.
Looking at who?
Are you the ones that are gonna burn today? I promised my friend Brog here that I wouldn't burn one of them to a crisp. He does not like eating burnt food. Brog's actually pointing at the gladiator and makes a motion like no.
You're actually not fighting with us.
Brog points at Bull. I think he likes this one.
Who are you?
Chanticleer is my name.
Chanticleer. I'm Magnus. These are my gladiators. You. Who do you fight for?
Why does that name ring a bell? Yes, Brog, yes. You'll get to eat someone by the end of today, I promise.
Who do you represent? Who are you fighting on behalf of?
Oh, we are not part of a ludus. I am here to make sure that others burn instead of my family. Brog is here, I think, to eat people.
Valid reasons, I guess.
Drain turns and looks at Magnus like, really?
Well, look at him. He's gotta eat something.
The guards open as it looks like the Maeve, the Maroon Maiden, has done her prayers and is going to go send some captured soldiers or barbarians off to their deaths.
Pre-game crazy talk in the back.
Yep.
My turn.
Yep. They don't seem to like close and give you lots of privacy here. Nitzer, as scary as he is does not have the status that Maeve does. And others are kind of like coming into this area while at the same time. You know Chanticleer and Brog because you guys have spent a lot of time in Vesta Rall's tattoo shop. So their presence doesn't necessarily annoy you. You know not to sleep near Brog, and you know that don't give Chanticleer something to burn.
Yep. Okay.
Are you saying that Brog is not a considerate and concerned lover? He is kind of...
No, I'm more like
That's not a weapon
if he
in
gets
his
hungry in the middle of the night, he prefers long meat. The fresher, the better.
Ah.
Not that the masters know this, Nitzer knows this. And now Magnus knows this, I guess. All right.
So, in the random encounter, his personality trait was like, I would be a cannibal, but not a cannibal. Eats sentience. Is there a word for that?
A cannibal is probably the closest term that we need, but eating sentience will be like cannibal is basically a good word for that. Because, what happens if I eat a Neanderthal? Is that cannibalism?
We can mate sort of with them, so yes, that answer is most definitely a yes. Because, I mean, we have Neanderthal blood in at least Northern Europeans. That's some of them.
All right, another person comes in as Maeve the Marooned Maiden and her squire is the way that they have introduced her, have taken to the field, and they're currently fighting these shaggy, not well-fed barbarians to the delight of the crowd as the matinee match.
If you have navy skin, you should not wear gold armor. That is not a good look.
All right, a man walks in. He's a little bit grizzled, but he's got wonderful armor and he has almost perfect posture. He's strong. He's got 2 gladiuses on his back, kind of in a crossed sheath. He's tall for an elf. He nods to you.
Yeah.
With piercing red eyes, Are you Magnus?
Yeah, Magnus steps forward. Greetings. You must be Drace.
I wish to see the opponents that I face before the match, he says in a very quiet voice.
It's good you look like an honorable warrior. It's very honorable of you.
It is good to meet you. And he presses his hand kind of over the breastplate of your armor, and his hand begins to glow.
Oh, this is...
hello? He puts his hand against his chest, like,
yep.
All right. That's how you do it.
It's pretty good.
Shebegas tells me that you are an honorable opponent, that you fought in the games before. I will accept your submission.
And I yours.
And know that my beast is quite intelligent.
Good.
His name is Shift.
Good. I look forward to a fight. We've been training well. I hope you have as well.
Yes. I am near a new tier, which opens up a wonderful, dizzying array of evil to face.
Magnus looks at him and with a bit of surprise, admiration, and happiness that Magnus is not good.
Yep.
But he sees an imbalance in where he's living and does not like it.
I don't even know if Magnus even detects, because Magnus is
Magnus doesn't detect.
He doesn't show up on a detect.
No, it does not. But Magnus is.
Are you talking where you live, like in the city, or just in the Ludus itself?
In the society where he's been.
Yeah, Magnus is here because he's kind of like likes the honor of fighting and like the way you described it to me before was like the contest of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So this guy seems to be here to face evil.
Yeah, Magnus likes that. Magnus I respect that in you. I hope you gain your new tier, just not through us.
For a match of many against few is one of the criteria that I believe some are holding against me before advancing to my next tier. I will have my new tier by besting you.
You will try your best, and I will try my best. Anything less is unacceptable.
His beast is not with him right now. But he came here to tell you the name of his beast.
Shift.
Don't kill my pet.
May I introduce myself to your other gladiators and wish them well?
Yeah, that's fine.
I am Drace, he says, and he puts his hand on the shoulder of the or the heart of the other guy. Drain.
Magnus nods to them. It's like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm Drain. Drace just nods to him. He goes to Bull. Oh, spell hand is what Bull says.
That's fine. It's fine, Bull. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Levels are really low.
Actually, Magnus
I don't think they are
know.
priests.
A spell? What kind of spell?
And then I think we rolled really, really like mild for the alignment of the of the gargoyle. So
he's I don't think he's an outsider, and I don't think he's a priest. And
Yep.
he's really low level.
I need a
Drace
young
basically
gladiator
does this to the
Don't kill
to the
him. Don't kill
gargoyle. I am Drace. Good to meet you, he says. The gargoyle just basically looks at the glowing hand. He doesn't even reach out with his own claw, and then just looks at the glowing hand until he retracts it, and then sort of looks down. I look forward to our match.
Same do we, as all of us do, yeah. Good luck. Fight hard.
May the old gods that you worship be with you, but know Heronius is the top of them all.
The fuck's okay, all right. But Cord! Come on.
Cord is strong, is what he says, and he continues on.
Yep.
Neitzer got a 18 on knowledge religion. Does he know what he's doing with the touching and the
Yeah, you know that this drow paladin of Heronius, who serves the Guild of Beast Tamers, was detecting evil on all of them.
Okay, Nietzsche's gonna walk this way, and
Yep.
he does that intentional shoulder bump as he walks by.
Pardon me, is what he says to you.
There's no excuse for you.
Look, that's politics. He's looking at the gladiators. Look, that's our politics.
My
Look how
match
they
here,
interact
my
with each
match
other.
here is not with you, although I'm certain it can be arranged.
Someday. I'm sure they don't get along well. He's a lawful evil priest.
Yeah, yep. But the two of them, they're not about like picking out their weapons now and unlawfully fighting.
No.
They'll arrange the grudge match.
Yes.
He
Let me know when I
just
have a
nods.
sec.
He just nods to all of you. Yeah, Magnus has a sec. Nitzer's just waiting in the wings.
With his own gladiators.
Okay,
And take Drow and just walk a little bit behind.
sure.
Hey, Thrall. Listen, I know you're not very happy with where you are, where you were, but we're good guys. I'm looking out for you. Right? I need you to be there, all of you to be in fight with us. In your heart, in your mind.
Why?
Everyone wants something. You want to be free, don't you? I want to be free as well. I'm not a slave, but I'm also indentured. I fight. I have to. Do well. And I'll protect you, I'll look out for you, like I do with everyone, all the gladiators. And perhaps one day you'll get freedom.
Give me a diplomacy check. You can add
Oh,
4
fuck.
because freedom is a interesting thing to dangle over gladiators.
Oh, motherfucker.
There is no light at the end of my tunnel.
That's maybe that's how you feel now. But stick with me and we'll get out of here. Fight. Fight with me.
Okay.
Not now, shit, not
Drell's attitude drops by 1. He seems a little bit more depressed now. Like you've changed his morale into like a more
Worseness.
permanent. Yeah.
Great. Yippee yup.
Hey, Phineas, remember how I said I do talking stuff, right? I just have this funny feeling that I'm supposed to be talking to someone. Right?
Drell
what
joins
I-
the rest
oh,
of you.
Yeah, you want to sit between us? Come on in,
You're
buddy.
certain
Let's-
you've seen him in training. He will defend himself. It takes a little damage for him to get going though. Like if somebody goes and beats him with a non-magical training sword, he'll just stand there. You go up to him with a magical blade, however, and stick it in his side, and he starts to like tear it apart. So he will defend himself. He's not beyond hope. But dangling freedom at him just didn't seem to believe you.
Yeah. 1 second, still not here. Joker!
All right, you can hear the crowd. Maeve is a warrior of like great skill. Even Sonya seems to be able to take on a couple of lightly armored, scraggly looking barbarians in the ring. Maeve is making them look bad. Kicking weapons out of their hands, punching them in the face, drawing out the fight to the crowd. She seems to also be a master at doing it slow. One of them,
Enjoying yourself?
one of them looks like some sort of chieftain.
I'm sorry.
What was that?
Some sort of chieftain that she does wander up to, and when he shows that he has a bit of skill, they get into a really fast set of maneuvers and counter strikes with 2 blades. But she gives him a quick death. The crowd seems to the crowd seems to not like the quick death, but she's able to make other barbarians look foolish to quickly recover from that. It was like she was working up the favor of the crowd so that she could give that one barbarian a quick death.
Huh.
Sonya's in there. She's not so good that she could just dance around all these foes. She has to try with every strike and stroke. And a couple of times Maeve has had to come over to help Sonya. But in the end, 8 barbarians lie bleeding in the sands. There's one that she wanders up to, and you can see the crowd is cheering.
I told you, Phineas, we need to get improv lessons for the gladiators.
He takes his nose out of his book. What is she doing that makes him doesn't?
She's
not
has
stabbing him.
she has her a broken spear with a long kind of cutting blade at the end of it. It's almost like a pole arm up to the neck of the barbarian, and she seems to be waiting for something. She's staring up at the boxes where the commissar and the nobility are. The commissar kind of looks back towards the duke. The duke just seems really bored with this, and he just sort of like waves his hand off to the left-hand side of him. The count also seems to do this as well, almost like copying his master. And the commander basically nods and steps forward, thrusts his hand out, and puts his thumb down. Lots of the crowd are also doing the same. They're like, oh, they don't like the northern barbarians. It would spoil their fun. Are any of you sticking your thumbs out and joining in on the...
Ashoka is watching. He's
okay.
Yeah, he's just watching.
Phineas, the crowd's really loud at this point in time, as they're all like pointing their thumbs down, like they want to see death. You're not getting much reading done, as everyone's like standing up and pointing their thumbs down.
This book is worth more than you and your whole family combined. Get away from me.
All right. Eventually, she runs the end of the broken polearm against the barbarian's throat, thus ending the match. She raises the broken weapon above her head. Sonya also raises her weapon and shield, and the crowd seems to like it. There are some that begin a chant. Although you do see at first when the chant started out, there are some guards in the stands that try to stop people from chanting this. But the chant soon just gets out of hand.
Let them fight or something.
No, they start crying out Valkyrie.
Oh. Cool.
Maeve actually thrusts the broken polearm into the air again when they're chanting Valkyrie.
Knowledge Arcana or something?
Local Vaddapol.
Okay.
Knowledge Planes.
I need to shore up Ashoka's knowledges. He doesn't really know that much.
36.
Okay, Phineas looking up from his book, he's like, Valkyrie. You know that they are like the shield maidens of certain warrior gods.
Like shield maidens of the gods. It's a pagan thing.
She looks human.
Yeah, it's like saying someone's a demon in the ring. They're not really a demon. They're just fight like one.
Horns are now interrupting the chant as people are introducing the megaphone.
All right, clearly there's some low common denominator I don't understand, because her stabbing and poking seems to get a lot more reaction than other people's stabbing and poking. So
She's
yes, I will concede to hiring an expert on this phenomenon. Which is the closest he'll ever come to saying, I don't know.
The Megaphant is truly something terrible to behold. It is
This probably gets Phineas to put his book down. Holy shit.
it is a multi-tusked, oversized war elephant.
it comes out of the east entrance.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find a good Megaphant token. They basically trotted out a bunch of, like, it looks like everyone's in a hurry. Like, this wasn't planned, but in order to stop the Valkyrie chant, they introduced the Megaphant early.
All right.
For your pleasure, the Guild of Beast Tamers bring to you exotic beasts from beyond Empirica. The one, the ground shaker, the thunder of the gods, the Megaphant! And people are going crazy at this elephant thing. It is... I think elephants are huge, so that would make this thing gargantuan.
Okay.
You do notice that
unnaturally
that Chebagas is just walking out beside it. He's got this little tiny, like a little tiny, like whippy, like a little whippy thing that he kind of like tick tick. He just taps the Megaphant. And of course, this little whippy thing is not getting through the thick skin of the Megaphant. And you could see this sorry, beraggled 12 people in this long line of chains are kind of brought out.
Phineas has a
Go ahead.
Phineas has a moment of like childishness and glee. He's like, oh, we know him.
Yes, yes, we do. You should cheer for him. Yay, Chepagast!
The chanting of Valkyrie has turned to Megaphant as the crowd is quick to forget what happened moments ago, and the new thing, the new spectacle comes forward. You notice that Chepagast might actually like issue a command that the Megaphant is actually like leaning down, and people like are going crazy at this thing. They love it doing anything. Its trunk trumpets up and lets out this huge trumpeting noise, and then goes down on one foot and then two front feet as it's leaning down, almost sitting down. So Chebagas goes underneath it, lifts back one of its ears, and is now talking to it, and people think that's funny.
Okay, pretty pimp.
These soldiers are lining up behind, and these people basically are... Their weapons are daggers, tiny clubs, and small wooden shields.
Oh, this is not gonna go well.
And there are about 12 of them.
Oh, it won't.
Here in Vaddapol, we are law-abiding citizens. We do not suffer those who would try to suckle from the mother's teat too long. Those that would prey upon us. We'll meet their end here in the arena. Megaphant. There are no bets that are taken aside from those that would wish to bet that one of these lowly thugs, ne'er-do-wells, criminals perhaps, unfortunates we will call them, that are up against the Megaphant. There's probably like 100-to-1 bet you could probably make on one of these guys defeating the Megaphant.
They do conditional bets in this world, or no? Like, it will take the Megaphant 3 minutes to, or whatever, you know.
You're sure that you could make those bets, but right now you've got like Jimmy the Bookie kind of like there's a guy who knows Jimmy the Bookie, and you're like, maybe we need to spend some money.
Jimmy the Bookie's cousin,
right?
placing our bets for us.
And the people that you're around in the crowd with could probably afford maybe a few jugs of wine, like if you pooled some bets together, but You're not in the place to make bets with the high rollers. You realize that you're going to have to spend money to make money here.
But ma'am.
I have such this urge to charm some of these guys. I just have them sit really close to us. Just sit really close.
Shebagast basically
power to do that yet,
comes
but,
out
yeah.
from under the ear and kind of flips it up, and he kind of like he's playing up the crowd a little bit. The crowd almost instantaneously love the Megaphant. Who wouldn't? Some of them laugh when the Megaphant begins to shit. It's a lot of shit from a gargantuan creature. The upper crowds like it. There are some more delicate folk that hide the disgust behind fans the upper teeming mob thinks it's hilarious.
Okay.
It is a one-sided match where Shebagast basically chases the Megaphant around, which runs over these poor ne'er-do-wells, stamping some of them, basically trampling others, sending others flying to the glee of the crowd with simple swings of its tusks. There's one guy that managed to go up and stab the Megaphant in kind of like the knee. The Megaphant snarled and basically spent the next almost what felt like a minute beating that man into a bloody sort of like pool and pulp. Into an unrecognizable mess in the sands with its two trunks.
Huh.
But in the end, there is one man who's begging for his life, and basically Shebagast wanders beside the Megaphant. The Megaphant actually is just waiting. The guy is begging. And the Shebagast approaches the box, and points up with his little stick. It's like a little stick with a fold of leather at the end of it.
Mm.
You notice that this one they give to the magistrate. The magistrate just sort of looks. He makes some snide joke to somebody beside him, and then he thrusts his thumb down, and the Megaphant basically is then ordered to raise up on its hind quarters. It waddles forward a little bit to the delight of the crowd, and then comes thundering down with its many-tonned flat foot, crushing the begging man, who was already on his knees before the Megaphant. Basically, the man was bent forward, backwards, and forward, and then sort of backwards, and it's sort of a mess that springs out underneath the stamped foot, and that is the introduction of the Megaphant to the Civic Arena of Vaddapol.
Magnus, you know you're fighting that thing before the end of, I don't know, maybe next year.
Turn Magnus into Legolas. And we'll have a deal.
Shebagast basically orders the Megaphant to allow him up. Shebagast kind of like waddles, like it leans down. Mm-hmm. He climbs up onto the thing, and then he spends the next several minutes to the entertainment of the crowd, allowing people to go to the Jakes, as well as to get more wine. As the Megaphant just basically does tricks and wanders around so that everyone can get a good view of the Megaphant around the top. Shebagast waving to the crowd and sort of playing up the crowd. Oh yeah, there's all sorts of flirting and drinking and stuff going on in the stands.
Huh. So, good to know.
Alright, so we'll draw the Megaphant off to the side as it goes thundering back into where beasts come from, kind of underneath where the there's another set of entrances that lead underground.
It would seem to be like an optimal thing you need ranged weapons. How fast was the Megaphant?
The Megaphant was probably pretty quick. Let's see. L'Elephant?
It's 40 or 50.
I don't think it's 50. Might be 40. I think it's 30. That's my guess.
I hope it's 30.
Yeah.
Problem.
40.
Fuck.
All right.
It can outpace a normal man.
Yep.
So how was what's his name keeping up? Pushing?
Who?
He was going behind it and tapping it.
Oh, he was just running up behind it and ordering it from behind.
It wasn't he only had to keep up with the people running away from it.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
And the chances of him not having a level of barbarian, what are you, high?
Minus his reach, minus the elephant's reach. Yeah, it was pretty bad. All right. After finishing their match, there are mercenaries that go out and kill more people in the matinee as the blood is up from the crowd on this first day of games. While they have all of the important people here, they want to spill as much blood as possible in the name of the emperor, the empire, the emperor, and the five-faced god. Death to the heathens. How many heathens have died in this place, you don't know. But there are about to be heathens to enter the ring, including yourselves. Nitzer Cray, as well as some of these... Nitzer Cray, as well as Chanticleer and Brog, go out to defeat other barbarians and ne'er-do-wells and some upstart gladiators. They are all brought to the field at the same time. People seem to be impressed by them. Phineas and Ashoka notice that Nitzer Cray is able to pull skeletons out of his chest and fling them to fight people and keep people busy.
Does he have a cloak of the necromancer's cloak or whatever, like a tattoo? Is that what that is?
Give me a knowledge arcana or a spellcraft.
I will. I think that's what you just described to me. That 17.
He pulled out a skeletal man and a skeletal wolf. You're not sure how it was done, but he might have a robe of bones built into his chest.
That was that's the thing I was trying to think of. Yeah.
Plus he's he's a competent fighter with his 3-section staff. He's able to take on 4 opponents.
He took a 3-section staff as a weapon.
Then the skeletons and the wolf turn on him. The crowd seems to know this, and they're all like laughing, like this is a thing. Which he then beats up the skeletons with his 3-section staff, ending the whole charade.
Wait, why would he do that? What the fuck?
He is not a necromancer.
Look, he's very good with the crowd. He's even fighting his own skeletons. Wow.
Chanticleer, as he's fighting a bunch of lower-level opponents, basically drops down into a weird kata, and his hair and tattoos begin to burn, and he seems to be able to pull fire off of himself and throw it into his opponents. He has a lot of flashy spells, a lot of burning hand spells. But the crowd likes it when he basically out of his own hand and out of his own eyes and mouth are spouting flames in all directions. His spells do cause people to catch fire. So the part of the fight had 2 people running around with their hair on fire while he was dealing with the others. He seems to just keep people at bay out of fear of having fire. If you overwhelmed him, like you might be able to get at him. Chanticleer fights 4 on his own. Brog is just a pugilist. But there's something really weird that goes on with Brog. First, he does this weird croak, which kind of screws up some dude. Like it causes him to kind of stagger back. Brog basically then wades in. A couple of guys take full-on swings, like with axes and swords. Hit Brog, he grunts it off, and then continues to beat them into a pulp. At the end, people are cheering. You're pretty sure that they're cheering, eat, 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 eat. Brog goes up to one guy, chops off his leg, and then begins to put the entire male human leg into his mouth, and it all disappears. He just keeps on pushing, and he's kind of like choking on it, and it seems to all go in. He then grabs a second leg, and impossibly, there is not enough volume. He takes off that leg with a swing of this big axe that he picked up from one of his opponents, and is now also sticking that into his mouth and eating him. This chopping apart one body and eating the man continues until there's just a bloody head left, which Brog then puts into his mouth and begins to chew on. Frogs don't really have teeth, So it takes him some time before he actually crunches the skull, but eventually gets it, and then begins to gobble that down as well. You can give me a knowledge arcana or a
Okay.
spellcraft.
Holding. 8.
You got no idea, but he's not growing out any bigger. So there's something fantastic about